Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.
You know, everybody's got a to-do list. Drop off the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket. It just may be the most rewarding to-do you do today.
Now Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio. A downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast, Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Here we are. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. We're doing a little different kind of show today. We're traveling the show. The Podcast One studio was full. I think they had Brandy Glanville in there. And I was going to drive out to Bill's, but then I called up Matt Farah and I said, Matt, what are you doing? And he said, nothing. He said, come on over. So we're over here at the Matt Farah Podcasting Suite. And we're just going to talk to you. I want to spend a little time with you. I've been watching what you're up to. I've been watching your social media feeds, and I'm seeing all of these. You seem like you're podcasting all day long.
Oh, my God.
I know you're not doing the one takes anymore. I thought I would come over and see what's happening here.
Hi, Spike.
I love this place.
Welcome to my studio.
Yeah, we have 2 podcasting studios here. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Are they identical? Are they the same?
They're the same, but they're different. We have Studio A, which is for 5 people, and Studio B, which is for 2 or 3 people. Okay, that's pretty much the only difference.
Studio B. And what are you building here? What's going on here?
So what's happening right now is I'm reducing my car video output because it's such an endless grind that you have to proactively remove yourself from it sometimes. And I've chosen to focus on the cars that I can actually spend quality time with instead of just cranking out video after video somewhat mindlessly.
Right.
And doing podcasting to me is so fun. I love radio. I love hanging out with my friends. I love doing long-form interviews with interesting people. And so that to me is, I like hosting, not just hosting a show, hosting people in my little studio here.
Right.
I like playing host and being hospitable and talking and having fun. So
where do these live when you do your show, The Smoking Tire? Because now you're shooting video, and I see it go on YouTube. I'm getting notifications that it's live all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep track of it all and understand it. When I came on your show with Zuckerman recently, you videotaped it. That didn't go out live.
No.
Okay.
We started doing live the following week. Yeah.
But it would have. Go ahead.
We have a small staff and we have limited resources, so we add features as we can. So we've been doing the Smoking Tire podcast for 6 years now.
And how many people are watching it live?
Yeah, like 5 to 10,000 over the course of a 2-hour show. It's not that many, but so we started doing live, then we built the studio, added a video element, and now we are utilizing the YouTube live streaming feature because we have a big subscriber base on YouTube.
Right.
So we're leveraging that to bring our podcast to them in a video format and to make it more interactive. And YouTube has a feature called Super Chat. So there's like a rolling comment.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Super chat is you can make a donation and it stickies your comment. So if someone really wants to ask, and we have an agreement that if you make a donation, I'll answer your question on the show.
So people pay a little money.
They pay a little money. They answer a question, or they ask their question, or make a statement, or whatever it is, and it comes up in a separate window. It goes ding.
I didn't know I could do that. I'm going to answer listener questions today, and I'm going to get paid nothing for it.
I did that for 6 years. I found out there's a better way. It's not a huge amount of money, but you know what?
That's interesting.
It's a filter. It filters out a lot of the bullshit,
right?
And it generates a little bit of revenue. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's a little bit. And you know what? People go into the super chat every single time we do a show. At least 2 people go into the super chat and just gift us $50.
Right.
Like, just gift it to us.
Can people buy a private dance?
Soon. That's RedTube. On YouTube, it's a little different.
So
we're doing more podcasting.
So you broke up with YouTube a little bit, but now you're together with them in a different way.
Yeah, YouTube will always be there. The key is to not let it run you, to make to bend it to your needs, as opposed to letting the audience run you. And then, as you may have seen on my Instagram, we finally, after 4 years, broke ground on my building.
There it is.
Which is it has a billboard over my construction site. It's a weed delivery billboard that looks over my construction site.
We're looking at a picture of it right now. I did see this picture, and it made me laugh because I was like, this is the most professional group of guys building something I've ever seen.
And
like, where did you find these guys?
And then me.
No, you look like one of them. Like, you don't normally see these guys building.
That's because these guys aren't doing. They're the paper pushers and the architects. And
so I'm counting. Let's
engineers.
see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. This is expensive. This is very expensive.
2 architects, 3 contractors, and 2 engineers in that picture. Oh my
God!
And
how are you not going to get completely screwed on this?
The land is already worth double.
No,
what
I just mean
for it.
on the total budget for this project.
I've been screwed. I'm so screwed. You don't understand quite the level of screwed I am, Spike. I'm so screwed.
So how many years before you're profitable?
5.
That's not bad.
If people will pay what I think they will pay to park their car there.
Yes.
I
no,
think
because
they will.
people are always looking for parking here. They're always calling me up for parking.
There's nowhere else to go. That's the thing with LA is I just went to a place in Seattle called The Shop. That's a collector car storage place that has a do-it-yourself lifts and tools, and it's 55,000 square feet. Wow. It's so big. Yeah. There's a full-service restaurant and bar in this place, and I'm just going, oh my God.
But that's Seattle. I was just up there too, and the same thing. I said, "Look at all the space.
All the space.
They have space to do this stuff."
Yeah,
and so is it. It's not expensive to get a space there.
No, it's $200 a month to get a space there. Which, dude, you won't get.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You won't get an outdoor parking space in someone's apartment building that they're subletting you in a decent area.
No, we're like Hong Kong now.
Yeah, so where I'm building it's right up the road from our current studio. It's across the street from the Clippers practice facility. It's across the street from Facebook and Google and YouTube. It's great. And
what is my experience going to be? So I'm coming in one of my old cars, my 58 Speedster,
so you
on
arrive.
the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already signed up. You've already been open for a couple of years.
Yeah.
As I pull in, what happens? Do I have my own clicker?
No, you do not.
What happens?
So it's a staffed building.
Right.
It's going to be extended business hours. It's going to be after hours by appointment. It's for enthusiasts, so I'm not going to charge you extra to pick up your car on a Sunday morning to go to the canyons. That's going to be part of our enthusiast business hours.
And how do I call you to get my car? How does that work?
You will call on the phone or text or whatever,
okay.
whatever your communication system is.
So I'm like, hey, I'm coming here at 8 in the morning.
So
I want to drive to Bill's.
Exactly. There will be different spaces in the building. So the thing about this building is it's going to be vertical, right? It's 1 floor underground and then 5 stories tall. Now, but it's only 1 floor, so it's racks, it's car racks, like Canepa's got. So depending on your usage of your car, some cars are not really drivers. They're museum pieces or pebble cars or race cars or whatever. They can go on the top racks, so they don't need, it's a pain to get those down. The cars that come down
How do you get them down?
You move the cars under them out.
Okay, one at a time.
One at a time. Yeah.
Right.
It's not that bad. You're talking like 15 minutes, but it's annoying. My goal is to have people buy a whole stack. rent
Right,
a whole stack.
right. Ooh, I
That
like
way,
that.
we got 4 cars and 1 driver ass. You know,
Poker chips.
and a lot of people have inquired so far
And
about
how do
multiple
I keep
spots.
my car from flying off in the earthquake?
So these racks are so serious.
Yeah.
They are such. It's not only are they, you know, if you're used to like the bend pack, similar, the 2 cars that everyone uses, these aren't like that. There's nothing wrong with those. Those are fine.
Right.
I'm not saying anything bad about bend pack or their systems or anything like that. These are 38 feet tall, and they are exoskeletons. So it's a rectangular cage outside the lift.
Oh, wow.
And furthermore, they are linked together. So the ones that are next to each other are bolted together.
Right.
Then they're bolted through the floor, through the foundation of the building, and bolted up to the ceiling. So the whole building structurally is connected to the racks.
Wow.
The racks, then you drive onto them. They don't fork you from the side like a mechanic's lift. You drive onto them where they're full trays. There's no space. So if your car leaks oil, it's not going to the car below it.
Right.
It's a full tray with a removable drip tray you can clean. If. And then
That's all my cars.
It's
Can I
all-
can I open my doors when I want to get out? After I drive in, or are you driving the car in?
onto the rack?
Yeah.
It depends. It depends.
Do you have battery tenders up
Yes.
there?
Battery
Okay.
tenders, the most insane fire system you have ever seen in your life.
Okay.
It's very high security.
So let's say
60 cameras.
So let's say I'm jamming around the canyons and I return my car and I want to get out of there. I drop it off with you. You gonna detail it for me?
It's part of the service. It's not included with the
Right.
monthly, but yes, of
So
course.
the car will be
Basic
detailed before or
cleaning
after?
services.
Wow.
Our friend Anthony at Exotic Car.
Love him, Anthony Lehner.
Anthony Lehner at
Yes.
Exotic Car is the man.
If he's in,
He is my vendor.
Yeah.
He is my vendor
He's the
for
best.
paint and body, for wraps, for all the basic stuff.
He has saved my ass
Yeah.
so many times.
Dude.
At the last minute. Like I'm leaving for Newport in an hour and my nanny just smashed into my Land Rover and he got it done.
Yeah,
And he
he's my guy.
fixed it. He's the best.
So he's
The
my
absolute best.
first vendor as far as as having people on staff.
Wow,
and
this is
stuff like
exciting.
that.
So how do people sign up? How do people
Right
find
now,
out
I have a
about this?
waiting list going.
So you're already booked up
I'm
completely?
gonna no. It's not a waiting list in terms of I'm oversold.
I see.
I have a waiting list. It's about 100 people long,
Wow.
and I put a shovel in the ground 2 days ago. So
So it gets built in what, a year or two?
yeah, we're 12 to 15 months is what we're
Okay.
looking at, and we're going to have a new podcast studio that is going to be
That's there.
That's there.
Wow, that's exciting.
And it's going to be elevated over the cars with glass walls looking down
That's
on
hugely important.
the cars.
Elevation and couches and chairs.
Yes.
Can I come over and smoke a
Yes.
cigar there?
Yes. You can have. I'm gonna have. It's not gonna be like country clubby. The real
don't
estate
need much
is
space.
too expensive to build a big club.
Right.
But it's gonna have a room with some nice big leather chairs, a cigar area, a booze
Wow.
cabinet, a big TV to watch a sporting event.
How is your cigar ventilation going to work?
It will be ventilated. And also, we have a small rooftop deck. There's
Really?
a roof. Yeah, there's an outdoor rooftop area.
Have you talked to the Clippers about them coming by?
My television agent, your television agent, Mr. Hans Schiff.
Hans Schiff? You're still with Hans Schiff?
Did you bail?
No, of course not.
It's like, don't bail without telling me.
I haven't heard him mention you for the longest time.
That's because I'm not working.
No, you're your own man. You're making your own business
I
here.
do a thing, but Hans has sent me a few people for the list.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, a few of his other clients whose names
Hans,
I don't want to drop. but they're
He's
heavy hitters.
he's at CAA. He's our agent. He's a great guy. He's also known as the car guy of CAA.
Everyone related to cars.
Everybody
Hans represents.
gets Hans. Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay, the whole deal. What's his name? Richard Rawlings.
Richard
It's
Rawlings,
the
yeah.
whole crew.
Actually,
Me, you.
Since you said it, that's who Hans said. He said Gordon Ramsay needs 10 spaces. When
Of
are you gonna
course
be
he
ready?
will. Yeah, no, I helped Gordon Ramsay get a GT2 RS in exchange for him coming on my podcast. And
Really?
Go ahead and look through that catalog right now and see if you see the name Gordon Ramsay, because it's not there.
It's not there.
He got the car and then he just blasted off. And Hans
he
is like,
bailed
"Don't-
on you?
It's gonna, yeah. Gordon Ramsay, the guy who yells at people, is going to get yelled at by me. You know what I'm going to do?
Is it
Because
gonna-
it's
you're going to call him out, right?
the cars. I don't have to. I'm doing it right now, but I don't have to because I'm just going to call Dean, who sold him the car, and go hold that car
It hasn't come in yet. right?
until he commits. No, it has not come in. Do not hand over that car, or I lose all my leverage in this
A
conversation.
man without hand is not a man.
Yeah,
George Costanza said that.
I did drive the GT2 RS. Or
Really?
I drove in it. I drove in the car, and
With like a real driver?
well, it was Seinfeld, so he's not a real driver.
He got his though.
Yeah, he did.
What color?
Black.
All black.
Yep. With aluminum wheels.
So does
very plain.
the black hood disappears when you get the all
Yes,
black, right?
yes.
That's key.
Yes. It's an intriguing car.
Does it
First of all,
feel-
it starts up and it's got a brand new sound. It's got those big holes of exhaust pipes that look like the 918 but sound like just a big ass tiger, a monster sound.
It sounds unlike other 911s.
Oh yeah, bigger and scarier in the low end, and then as you get on it, the sound disappears and the turbos kick in. Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost we didn't take it up to Redline because Jerry doesn't like to go over his brake and I know what a waste. He won't listen to us. But once I hope there's something up there. I hope there's something.
I hope
at the high
there's
end
something at the red line.
Yeah, it
We haven't
starts
found it yet.
very loud and then it goes. And it sort of disappears. But God,
Those turbo cars sound like nuclear vacuum cleaners.
he got on it a little bit, and I said, all right, is that 7,000 RPMs? He said, no, that's 3. And I was, oh, my God. The acceleration was, for 3,000 RPMs,
Yeah.
I've never felt anything
Well,
like
it's
that
huge. It's
before.
huge torque.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
real big torque.
It's such an interesting car because you get in it and you look around and you go, this is kind of, GT3. I'm in a GT3. Quick
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
GT3 RS, right?
Right.
It kind of looks like that. But then as it moves, you realize, no,
Oh.
I'm in a Dragon. I'm in a
Yeah.
new thing, and
Yeah.
it's spectacular, but you got to respect it.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
just
respect
drove this supercharged. There's a company called VF Engineering that makes
Mm-hmm.
supercharger packages for Lamborghinis. So I drove a Performante, the new
Yeah.
lighter Aero Lambo with a supercharger on it, and it was 870 horsepower.
Wow.
And I drove it at Fontana at the track on the NASCAR oval. 174 miles an hour on the front straight.
Wow.
Like nothing.
Really?
Like nothing. Easy. Like looking down like, whoa! Like, I'm just going
And
to
how
pass
did it
these-
handle?
like a Huracan. I mean, the chassis is capable, I think, of handling that much power, but it was on standard suspension and standard tires. Look, Huracan, Performante,
Right,
not
right.
bullshit. But when you're to make the best use of that power kit on a racetrack, a few tweaks are probably in order. But nope. I mean, you couldn't go back to the regular one after this. It felt so right and so normal that if you hacked 300 horsepower off of this thing, you'd be like, feel like you're towing an anchor or something.
Have you driven the Aventador or any of the new stuff they have coming out?
Yeah. Aventador, I drove Aventador S last year, which is the newest of the
And
Aventadors.
how was that?
By big V12 Lambo standards, quite lovely.
Usable?
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, like, not usable. I mean, it's not. It depends on your size.
What is this hesitation in your voice?
Okay, because I'm tall and I'm fat.
Right.
So everything
You're
that
not
comes
fat.
with that. I'm
You're
fattish.
big. You're
I have
6'2",
big
right?
Shoulders. I'm 6'2". I'm 260 pounds. I'm
Okay.
big. So my head grazes the roof of the Aventador. The seating position's not great. The pedal box is small. Big people issues. You, a normal sized human being, would probably find it pretty comfy.
I'm like a jockey.
Yeah,
I can just
no,
jump
you're,
right
what are
in.
you 5'10", 5'10"?
5'10".
Yeah,
That's
5'10",
right.
155 pounds.
There you go.
You would fit in that car just
I'm
fine.
that guy.
And I drove it, I did TV driving with it, where
Mm-hmm.
you have to do the same thing over and over. So we're down in Miami, Collins Avenue,
What TV show?
This was for Drive on NBC Sports. This was last season.
This last season?
Yeah, which you can now get on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, Drive on NBC Sports seasons 1 through 4 on Amazon Prime.
But are you back now with this new season?
I stepped away
You did.
to build my building. I stepped away to build my building and to not travel all over the world, and my back was too fucked. It was unfortunate.
Are they doing another round of those?
They are.
They are.
Yeah, they're making it, and there's no ill will. It's not. I love everyone who's making the show, but it literally just came down to, can your back handle 16 weeks of international travel this summer? Like, no, it can't. And so that was that.
Boy, that's
Yeah,
an arduous
that was
schedule.
But in Miami, I had to drive up and down Collins Avenue at 10 miles an hour in traffic to do the South Beach cruising thing.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
overheated it doing that.
Yeah.
But that's TV driving. That's not real. So.
No, but there was a season of Car Matchmaker where I think it's season 2 that I came out of it. I came out of it with a back problem just from spending too much time in the car seat.
Yeah.
And it was cold. We were shooting in the winter. So whatever downtime I had, whatever lunchtime I had, I'm sitting in the car, rolling emails, rolling calls, trying to do other business. And I had no idea it was bad for me.
It's really
and
bad
I came
for you.
out of that season with my first ever back problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it fixed?
It took a year.
Yeah.
It took a year. And part of it was a fall I took on our slippery rock by the ocean. And it was, that was in the previous August. And then the car a few months later, and that was it. And I was one of those guys. And I'm a person who works out constantly.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised by that. And the doctor said, you driving cars? You in the car seat a lot? And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't believe this.
Yeah.
But 5 days a week for 14 hours, I'm sitting. He goes, oh. You can't do that.
My doctor told me that I will be in pain as long as I have this job. That's what he told me. And he said, he's like, you can keep doing this gig, but...
What was the injury?
I've had 2 L4, L5 discectomies.
What does that mean?
I've burst my L4, L5 disc in my spine twice.
From crashing?
Disc. No. From driving. Just from driving.
Just from sitting.
Just from being in that position. Yeah, 2003 and 2011.
Well, Zuckerman and I argue about this all the time because he doesn't like the sport buckets that Porsche makes, and we just got a GT3 Touring together, and
so
he made
happy
me
for
put
you. Really,
he put 18-way adjustable seats in it, which
I
went
Touring.
along with it because it's a Touring, but still, it's not as cool as the sports seat.
Porsche does a much better job than most. Porsche's sports seat, it can be a little narrow on the thighs, but the actual driving position, where your feet are relative to your hips, relative to your shoulders and your arms, God damn, they do it so well.
Right.
If you're spending a lot of time in a car and it's a Porsche, you're probably going to be okay. You probably won't have this. Even my 87 Carrera, which you have an 87.
I have an 87 too.
It's so great.
The greatest.
And that seat, even in a 90,000-mile car, is great.
Yeah.
So comfortable.
I can't get out of that car when I drive that car.
Yeah, but
what's going on with yours? Last we spoke, we were in Safari mode.
Yeah.
Where you
We're still in
updated us
Safari
on the
mode.
work. Nothing has progressed since then?
I had to have some words with one of my favorite people who I don't want to throw under the bus because I love him. And he was a little delinquent in working on my car. He's
busy?
He was busy. The time flew by. He didn't really keep up with the schedule that he was supposed to. I had to yell at him a little bit.
Is he a perfectionist?
He's a perfectionist, but he is a bit scatterbrained when it comes to the organizational details.
And how many of these cars has he made so far?
It's not Lee, by the way. We're not talking about Lee.
Oh, we're not?
No. We're talking about someone who is doing something with the car engine-related.
Subcontractor.
Engine-related before Lee gets it. I'm doing the engine work here in California.
That just sounds like engine work.
It's engine work. Either way, I'm about 2 weeks behind schedule right now. Which
that's not so bad.
No one gives a shit except I want the car done for Rennsport because it's supposed to be in the Haggerty booth at Rennsport.
Now, yes.
That's why.
Now you got a deadline. Now we have a TV show.
Those car TV shows. I was thinking this whole thing. As I'm calling him and yelling at him for keeping me waiting, my mind goes back to all these fucking car TV shows where it's like, this better be done by Thursday. And I go, what kind of thing is that? And here I am being the guy.
Well, let's be honest, though. In the Haggerty booth, it's not going to be moving, and you could just ship whatever you have, and it's going to be fine. Nobody cares. Everybody go, hey, there's the car Matt's building.
I care.
We've seen that over and over again at Luft. That's just fine.
Yeah, it's apparently okay to just display half cars.
By the way, I know you're doing the Luft recap show, and you were very nice to invite me, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but I did check in from my office, and I watched you go live and say, I have the wrong day. Do you remember that? I was supposed to do the show with Patrick Long, and I'm here. We're live, and I've got the wrong day.
Yeah.
And
he came in the next day.
My partner John and I were like, "Oh, wait a minute! Get on, quick! Let's get on. Let's do some of that paid commenting really quick." Hey, Matt, how much weed did you smoke?
A lot.
But you didn't see what we were writing. I was trying desperately. Then I started texting you. I desperately wanted to interact with you and be part of the live broadcast.
I cut it
that
off
day.
after 2 minutes.
But that was fun.
I decided that we would come back with Pat Long.
Now, I want to. How was the Luft recap show? What did you learn from that recap? Because you and I had a great day. We had a lot of fun that day. I forgot our passes, and then almost got in a fight with a security guard.
God.
It was bad. I'm not
That was
proud of it,
the ride to Luft, beginning with smoking weed at Zuckerman's garage. Just me. No one else partook. Just me. Hopping in the back of an Alfa Giulia, an old one.
Because, Zuckerman and I were going to go down in a Porsche, and I was like, hey, Matt wants to come. And he goes, yeah, bring him along. And then we realized before he got there, wait, we've only got 2-seaters. What the hell are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I tried to squeeze into the back of the 993 Turbo, right?
For 2 seconds, you're like, don't worry, I'll get in the back of this 993 Turbo. I'm like, all right, whatever you say.
But unfortunately, I have legs, so it didn't work.
Nobody gets in the back of a 993
so
Turbo.
we drove in the Alpha, which was
is
super fun.
70, I don't know, 1, 2,
I don't
69.
remember. I remember we were missing a few cylinders as we took off.
It was
running properly.
I mean, I'll find it. Where
It's on my Instagram.
It's
at
here.
Spike
it's,
First, and
it's
you'll see
here.
it. But
it's here. Where's the lift? It was. There's not a video show. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
But fuck me, where'd it go? That drive when we got the car started, and all of a sudden now it's running on the correct number of cylinders, and then
we were
on the 405 doing about I don't know what this is. It's a Giulia. It's like a 70 or something. We're on the 405 doing red line in fourth gear because Zuckerman drives his car like he hates it, and Spike goes, "Hey, think I forgot the tickets."
we were all the way there. All the way there. And, I left them the night before. We drove down with my son James and picked up Zuckerman. He dropped his car off. And it was great. They were loading the cars up. Patrick was there. Patrick's awesome. He's there all night. He's just got such a great attitude. And we were we saw Canop, but we just saw a bunch of people we knew. The cars weren't staged yet, but it was almost a better show than the big show.
Yeah. I think in the future, for me especially, it's like industry night, you know what I mean? Going to the auto show on media days.
Yeah.
Like Luft was it's so great. It's such the visual element of all of it, the history, the variety of cars was so great. I'm not complaining when I say this. I'm just calling it like it is. I had a really hard time there. I couldn't look at anything. I got stopped by a lot of people.
No,
it's great that there's fans. They're so enthusiastic. I couldn't look at the cars.
Yes.
Because I got into a conversation with someone every
There's
6
a lot of
weeks.
conversations.
It was so it was really a challenge.
Isn't that nice? That
it totally
shows
is. You
that
just have
you're
to-
succeeding.
Totally.
And you have to, I've seen that happen. I watched Jay at Pebble. It's the same. He can't go 2 steps without being stopped. Jerry, 2 steps. Corolla.
And you put yourself in the mindset. You get yourself ready for that.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you love the cars, which Jerry,
I would almost prefer a fast picture and a quick hello. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than the conversation.
But they, people, it's like, man, if I see him, I got to ask him about, blah, And it's what's kind of unfortunate about it, and you don't blame anybody for this, but it always ends up being a real one-sided conversation. It's, hey, Matt, what do you think about this?
Right.
And so I just end up re-explaining opinions that I've already explained before.
You know what was
a lot.
super fun was watching Zuckerman get it because he's never gotten it before. Here's this personal injury attorney in a captain's hat, and he's just getting yanked over left and right. He goes, "What's happening?" And I'm like,
captain's
"Dude,
hat.
you're car famous.
Yeah.
You are car famous, and
Car
it's
famous
happening
is
for you.
Very unique famous.
It's a unique fame, and what's nice about it is when you're not at a car event, you're just left alone. Nobody knows who
it's
you are.
really nice,
Yeah, it's
actually.
nice. It's not real fame.
Yeah, you
That's-
can mentally prepare for it. You can go, I'm going to go be
Of
famous
course.
for 2 hours. And
I
then
like,
can
I'll
go
tell you
home.
what I love about it. I like meeting all of the people who's have the weird Instagram handles.
Oh, yeah.
They'll go,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm Hot Pants 69 or, Flat 6 Sicko." So he's probably listening right now.
What
And
up,
it
Flat
always
6
makes me
Sicko?
laugh. Just to see the handle and then the face that goes along
Totally.
with the handle. That cracks me up. Well,
Yeah.
look, let's take a break and we'll be right back with more Spike's Car Radio. Here are some useful car tips you might not be aware of. A coffee filter and a little bit of olive oil can clean your interior. Removing excess weight from your car will improve gas mileage, and you can place your key fob to your chin to increase its range. That's pretty weird, right? Well, here's another tip you also might not know about. TrueCar also helps people get used cars. That's right. TrueCar isn't just for buying new cars. With their certified dealer network and nationwide inventory of nearly 1 million used cars, you'll enjoy real pricing on actual inventory and a simpler buying experience, whether you buy new or used. And with TrueCar, users can see what others paid so they know if they're getting a good deal before they're buying. They're also more likely to enjoy a faster buying experience by connecting with TrueCar certified dealers. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, check out TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Welcome to the Dennis Miller option. I remember Seagal came in some Alan Carr caftan or something, sat down with a Iroquois braid. I thought this could be a long week. Dana Carvey, ladies and gentlemen.
Why don't you yell out for Steve out there? See if you can get him to come in like you're the real deal.
Bulbous and engorged. Arnold is stronger than you. Your buttocks are like marshmallows compared to
It
Arnold.
was like the horse broke its leg in the back straight away, put the tent up, and put me down. It was so awkward.
Remember to listen to new episodes of the Dennis Miller Option every Wednesday right here on Podcast One.
Do it.
You can follow Dennis on Twitter at DennisDMZ, Instagram at Dennis Miller, and on Facebook he's at Real Dennis Miller.
And by the way, I hide nothing here with the Dennis Miller podcast.
What kind of mind thinks of this?
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
So I never finished the story about the tickets. Welcome back, everybody. This is not that anybody cares, and I have explained myself, but I need to do it one more time.
They should care because it's funny.
If you have kids, you understand when you walk through your door, your head gets scrambled. And I came back from dropping Zuckerman off, and he said, hold on to these, I'll lose them. And I go, Zuckerman, I don't lose stuff like this. And I left them on the front seat of my Land Rover, right? And I just put them right there because I knew in the morning I'm waking up at 6 and I'm getting in that truck, right? I wake up in the morning, walk into the kitchen, the kids, the wife, the head is in a blender. And I'm like, They, can you do this? Can you do that? And I go, honey, I'm going to this thing with Zuckerman and Maddie. And he's like, and she's like, oh, all right, whatever, fine. She's a little angry with me. And I go, and I walk out the door, and I go, well, what am I doing driving a Land Rover to Luftgekult? I've got my leaf green 911T. So I get in that car and just bombed. I'm just trying to get away from the house fast before somebody can grab me and pull me back. That's how it happened. That
And then
is it.
halfway down the 405.
Now, then I'm talking to Zuckerman, and I might have remembered, but then you roll in and you start smoking weed. And we're like, look at Maddie smoking weed.
Meanwhile,
Zuckerman's drinking
I was
coffees
perfectly on time and had all the things I
You were
needed.
fine. It's just that it was very colorful, and now we don't have a car, and our head we were in different problems, and before we know it,
so funny.
the Alpha's not working. Well, how do we fix it? There's smells like rubber, and that's because the fender's rubbing against the tire. It was
Yeah, the car hasn't had a person in the back
Oh my
seat
God.
since the mid-'70s.
Well, we were laughing and having such a great time. Why would something be wrong? And then boom, and I felt awful. But Patrick answered his phone.
Yeah, he
and
managed
saved
it.
the day.
You skipped
I
the
feel
part where
awful.
you were kind of mean to the security guard.
I was.
You didn't take the right path in that
I
one.
didn't. I know I didn't, and I punished myself for that. And I went back to him and I apologized.
The funniest thing was you got out of the car to try and talk your way in, and it wasn't working.
No, do you know why? Because in my head, I was going to a dopey car show. So I thought, what would secure... If I just say, hey, it's Spike, Matt Farah, and Zuckerman, and we have a car here. I know we're in an Alpha, and he's got a captain's hat on.
Yeah.
And the other guy's got really red eyes. But what they had was like Taylor Swift security.
Yeah,
And
they really hired
They were
security.
serious, and they didn't know cars. They didn't even know Patrick Long.
You didn't even know the guy who owned the
Then
that
I'm
ran the show.
impacting Mr. Jokey is impacting with him, and he starts getting a little hostile, and I don't catch myself, and now I'm getting that way. And I had a picture. Erica, my wonderful wife, sent me a picture of the passes. I said, here's a picture of the passes.
Do you remember when we thought that was going to work?
Well, at a normal car show, it would. It would.
Yeah.
And
This was
anyway,
not a normal car.
I
There were
wanna tell you-
10,000 people there.
I went back on the way out and I stopped and I gave him a nice tip, but I also apologized. I said
yeah,
that
you
was
did.
not. I apologize for my behavior. I understand you're just doing your job. I didn't understand that was going to happen, so I made it right, and he laughed.
And
thought
then
it was hilarious.
How did the universe repay your morning?
When I got back in the leaf green tee, and I was blasting down to my son's Little League game, and the throttle linkage broke in the 911 tee. And then I was stranded at the little veterinary place, VCA Robertson. Not VCA Robertson, it was VCA Wilshire in Santa Monica. So, yeah, just looking under the car going, oh, all right, I deserve this. I deserve this.
When you texted me that the car broke down, I fucking laughed.
Yeah, that was the universe saying money doesn't help. The apology isn't going to help either. You need to take a little whack, and here it is. So I missed the Little League game. I had to flatbed the leaf green tee back to Zuckerman's. But I did hop in the 87 911 and had a nice drive after.
Is that of let's see, okay, of your current stable of 911s, is the 87 your favorite at the moment?
Well, the GT3 Touring is above and beyond.
Have you driven it much yet?
Not yet. No, I'm going to take it out to Bill's this weekend and do a drive in it. But as far as like just a pure 911, the 87 experience it's surprising. I like that better than the leaf green tee, to be honest with you.
It's fast enough to feel kind of fast, and it's easy enough to drive every day, and it doesn't ask anything of you.
It's very easy. I can throw my kids in the back. I can put the whole family in it and do so. That makes it very useful. But most of all, what I look for in any of these cars is when I'm stressed out during the week trying to run this production company and work in television, when I get in something that calms me down and I go on the PCH, that's what that drive is about for me. Then I hold on to that. And that 87 is that car. That 87 is that car. The 70 T is close, and I think I've got a little fettling and a little playing with it to get it right, but it's there. It's like a 9.5 out of 10. I've improved it immensely.
That's
and
good.
Sorted it.
Yeah.
But I might sell it. I might sell it. I want to do some questions.
Oh, do we have fan questions?
We do.
Oh, cool.
And I had them up.
And now they're gone.
Now they're gone. But give me 1 second.
Tell me about your Joe Sifford Octavia. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Well, that's another thing that's going on here, too, that you're doing is you have a watch show.
Watch and Listen.
Watch and Listen.
It's sponsored by Crown and Caliber.
Right.
You can get it where you get podcasts, iTunes, Shout Engine, etc., Google Play Music. You can also watch it on YouTube. YouTube.com/watch and listen podcast.
Super informative, but also kind of an entry. You are like me. You're like a beginner with the watches,
right.
And you're learning as you go.
I'm the student. Cameron Weiss is a master watchmaker, CEO of Weiss Watch Company, and alumni of Vacheron and AP. And I'm the student. He's the teacher. And we do all different kinds of stuff.
You should feature that watch that you're holding right now.
I love
So what
this
you have
watch.
there is the new Tag Heuer Caliber 11 collaboration. Caliber 11 is a watch blog, Tag Heuer blog in Australia, I think, run by David Chalmers. And David, forgive me if I don't pronounce your name right. They made 100 of these special reissue Joe Sifford collector's edition Octavias. So it's got that bright white dial.
That looks good. That looks good on me, too.
David told me Tag wanted to make it metallic, but he said, no, just make it a flat, bright white, so it's like the Daytona. It pops.
Yeah.
It's got the panda dial
and the
with
blue
the subdials.
seconds hand with the little hint of blue markers. It's
It
fire.
is spectacular.
Yeah.
And then I immediately took off the beads of rice bracelet and put on the other one they had there. And
What's the beads of rice? Like a jubilee?
Like the Gay
metal?
Ferris. No, it's
What?
you know this bracelet. It's called a beads of rice. Go ahead. And
I'm just
Google
going to Google beads of rice bracelet real quick. Let's see
it. Do Octavia beads of rice.
Okay. It's so pretty.
It's beads,
Yeah.
and it's one of the most comfortable watch bands. The beads of rice.
Beads
but
of
I have it. See,
oh
there it is.
yeah,
This guy
okay.
right
It's
there,
it's
right?
sort of like a jubilee,
Yeah,
but with
now-
smaller little. Here you go.
You've got the
Yeah,
yoke
yeah.
hammer.
I think this watch looks better on the leather. Do you get both bands with it? You do, right?
I did,
Yeah.
but the beads of rice is a little shiny. So I like this black one, this custom black
The
one.
black leather's
Now
good.
it didn't fit when I put it on. My wrist was too small. I have a Nancy girl wrist. I
Really?
have a lady wrist.
Look at a little 6-inch wrist.
So you know what I did, and I've never done
Punch
this.
a hole.
I punched a hole.
Hell yeah.
But you know how I did it? I went on to Amazon and they sell a watch band hole puncher for $7.
Please, what a waste! You could have.
I had it delivered. I had it overnighted, and it was so satisfying. And the second it got there, because like it's dinner, I was like, "Hold on!" I ripped it open, ran out back, punched the hole, and then the watch fit perfectly. It was one of the most satisfying experiences I've ever had.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's probably very satisfying.
And here it is, and now I'm wearing it now.
That's a beautiful watch. Are there
Isn't
any?
it?
Can people buy those anywhere?
So this is number 6 of only 100.
Yeah, so
I've, I encourage Tag Heuer to make more of them so everybody can have them. Because what's nice about this watch is it's relatively affordable when compared to the Rolex brand or any of these other watches. This was a $5,900 watch as compared
I think
to
it's a great value if you get that as a sticker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wear the hell out of this.
Well, you're a big Heuer guy anyway, so
Yeah.
it works for you certainly.
Well,
It's super dope. I think it looks just great.
The only chance for you is if Seinfeld, who I also got one, I think he's getting number 99 out of 100, so I think he's in the second shipment. If he gets it and goes, you know what, it's too hockey puckish, it's too big, or something annoys him, the bezel width annoys him.
If he doesn't want it, I'm second in line for that one.
Now
But he's going to want it.
This watch is on my Instagram feed, and he's been commenting on how beautiful it is.
Seinfeld comments on Instagram?
He does.
Really?
Mostly mine and Zuckerman's, but yeah, he does.
Oh, I get in that club.
Well,
Jay Leno knows who I am now. I'm very happy about that. I went and shot a bit with Jay in Seattle. They flew me to Seattle to do a thing for Jay
That's
Leno's
tremendous.
Garage. Yeah.
Now you and I are going to be on Jay's show together, right?
And they said the bit came out very well. They said it's like it's weird because it like kind of comes out of nowhere in the show. It's a completely. I think we can we say what it was? Yeah, it was a game show. He made a game show.
Yeah, sure.
And Spike and I were contestants on the game show.
And this will be in coming up on CNBC. We don't have dates yet, but we were teamed up together like the $10,000 pyramid and fighting like husband and wife.
And
it was wonderful.
I just got invited back to go up to Seattle and do another bit where I can't say exactly what it was. I told him I wouldn't say, but it involves like driving. It's it's a driving bit, which I was really excited about.
That's tremendous.
Jay was so, I mean, obviously he's cool, but like I've never spent a whole day alone with Jay Leno.
No.
It was awesome. He was so cool.
We walked in. Had you ever been to his joint? Because I had.
Yeah, it's cool.
I had never been there for some reason. I don't know why. I've never been there, and I walked in. You and I had some lunch there, and we started walking around, and then Jay joined us.
Yeah.
And every obscure machine that we could find, he would go, "Hey, you want to start it up?" And we
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, go ahead, start that up, Jay. I dare you."
And it would
1910 fire truck, Steve Hartford. Go ahead, start it. I want to see that. And then boom, just starts right up.
Yeah, it would
starts,
just work.
Yeah, and you know that encyclopedic mind, that knowledge of everything that he's talking about.
Yeah.
He really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
It's intimidating. And then what he's building, the little pieces he's building, and
The 3D printing and the water jetting and the
room
hot
after
rodding.
room after room after room after room of stuff. Have I seen it all? No, not yet. There's another mile of things. And like, God, how much money did you make?
It's so. I was talking to him about taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, with the Jay Leno's Garage show, you must be able to like write off your whole life. He's like, nah, I don't fuck around with the IRS. Nicolas Cage doesn't get to choose when he works anymore.
Nicholas?
Turn out like Wesley Snipes.
Nicholas?
Yeah, he said he was hanging out with Nicolas Cage for like a year, like in '98.
Wow.
And he said he took him to Pebble Beach. He's like, you don't believe it. He just bought everything. He goes,
Yeah.
you just point and buy, just point and buy.
Yeah, that's the way he was. Charlie Sheen was that way too. Charlie Sheen was across from me at Santa Monica Airport, and he had two guys with shirts that said Sheen Automotive. They had their own shirts that looked like they were from a 50s diner and a bunch of old muscle cars, and then
the Nat Nass like bowling shirt.
yeah, and then that evaporated pretty quickly. I think,
very
he
funny. But
turned
Jay
up.
he
He's
said
the
he has
greatest.
518 denim shirts, identical.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting
He
stat.
said the clothing rack's like 50 yards long. It's in the warehouse. They're all on a rack.
Did you ask him what makes a shirt now garbage? Like when he looks at it and goes, "All right,
Never.
that one has to
Nothing.
be thrown out."
Yeah. No,
Does he auction those off for charity?
He probably should. Yeah.
He should.
He really
that
should.
would be wonderful. I'd buy a Jay Leno shirt. That'd be hilarious.
I would definitely spend a few $100s on a framed Jay Leno denim shirt. He'd
Yeah.
probably fucking give us one.
No, that's really cool. Well, I was excited to be on the show. I think
Me too.
I'm doing something else with them too for their YouTube show in a few weeks.
Oh,
But,
with one of your cars? A nerdy
yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say like
All right,
that.
a
But
nerdy
it's
thing.
exciting. Exciting to be part of that little club, isn't it?
Hell yeah. When
right, let's-
someone way more famous than you knows your last name, that's awesome.
Yes. He only knows me, by the way, when I put my glasses on. I've had them off a couple of times, and he walked right by me, and then I put them on, and he came across the room. Spike!
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how we need one little piece of
That happens to me all the time. Well, that's why a lot of times I don't wear my glasses. Then I can just walk
funny.
around.
There are a few people that are like that look just different in every circumstance. Like Carmen Electra, always different.
Yes.
What do you got from the fans?
All right. Do you both have weird rituals you do in your car, such as volume at an even number all the time, or celebrating when the odometer hits new 1,000 miles?
That's a fair question.
From Napsy91. Weird rituals. Do
you have any?
I do. I do.
On the
Blaupunkt and the 87 radio. I like the balance and the treble and the bass. There's a little button you push it and it pops out. Those can never be out before I drive.
Oh,
Those have to all be set
pushed back in,
and pushed back in.
But they don't have to all be in the middle. You can adjust the sound for optimum sound, not just middle. You have to drive with them all in the middle?
No, that's fine. No,
Okay,
that'd be weird. That'd be totally strange.
Yeah.
But and lately I've been making sure other seat belts are buckled in my old cars.
That's weird.
That nobody's using. So the passenger seat and the two back seats. I don't like seeing them unbuckled. I like them buckled.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I love a good odometer rollover, first off. I mean, who doesn't love when they all line, sixes across? I love that shit.
That's like telling someone your dreams. Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
You try to call your friend, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't fucking care. But you feel like something really happened.
100%.
Yeah.
I like a symmetrical window. You know what I mean? If I like to have both my windows down at the same level.
Okay, me too.
Or if not that, then it's all or nothing. Like I'll go closed passenger, open driver, but only all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Or otherwise, if it's partial, they have to be even partial. That's if I had a big peeve. That's it. And I don't like people driving my cars. Nobody.
Yeah.
Every time I let someone drive my car, it comes back and something's fucking wrong. Every time.
Do you think you imagine half that stuff?
I wish I did, but I know I don't.
Right.
I just think that no one else thinks of
why are people driving your cars?
I got friends coming to town. They asked to borrow a car. I got a house guest or something.
Right.
That's my most recent. I had a house guest who borrowed my car, my Mercedes, and he brought it back, and the parking brake was mysteriously broken.
Oof.
And there was a black scuff mark like this big on one of the seats.
Yep.
And I didn't do either of them things.
I also like a clean car. I have to make sure all of my windshields are clean, and most of that's because of Malibu. You do a drive out there, everything's all foggy, and I don't like when the sun hits it.
Yeah, and I don't keep a bunch of shit in my car. My car is devoid of
me neither.
stuff.
Yeah, no stuff.
Yeah, because I'm always jumping car to car. I can't leave anything in a car.
Whenever I take another couple out for dinner,
the
wife always remarks on it, what is this car? Is it brand new? And I'm like, no, it's 2 years old.
Yeah,
she goes, there's nothing in it. There's no stains. And Eric goes, well, Spike doesn't let the kids eat. And I go, damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's
me on that
a thorough answer to that question.
Okay. Let's see what else we have. Stress the importance of a PPI by a qualified person. Well, of course, yes, we do that. I miss your show.
We don't need to stress that because all it takes is you getting fucked once. Wait, what do you mean this car's missing 3 head studs? What does that mean?
Car Matchmaker is on, and it'll be running all summer on NBC Sports again, the first 3 seasons, and hopefully we'll badger them into another season. If not, there's something else in the works with the original crew from the show. So I will let you know about that. Wow. This is from Hillbilly Lingo. LS swaps in non-GM cars, particularly 911s, seeing more of them done, and it got me wondering about doing a G-Series. Can I stop you right there, Hillbilly Lingo? What are you talking about? Is there any
what
world...
he's talking about
I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But it's blasphemy.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say if you are putting a car back on the road that otherwise would literally be going to a junkyard, then do what you got to do. If you're building a race car, a pure race car, and you're starting with a trashed 996 with a blown IMS bearing, sure, LS engine, why not? But
I'm getting
like,
sick to my stomach listening
it's
to this,
not
but
that.
continue.
Yeah, it's not that I think either of us. Well, you may have an emotional problem with
Yes.
it. I don't have an emotional problem with it. But
I hear what you're saying. It's decent advice. Just don't do it with something new.
Yeah, and it does remove a lot of the things that make a 911 special.
Yes.
Turning a 911 into half a Corvette, you're not ending up with the correct experience. Like I drove this thing once. There was a Cayman, a Porsche Cayman that this shop in Florida put a fucking Shelby motor in the back of, a GT350. So we're talking about a car that came with, I believe, a 3.0 or a 3.4 that would have been about a 300 horsepower, right? Cayman S. Mm-hmm. Take that out, or it blew, or whatever, and they put in a 525 horsepower V8 that revved 1,500 RPM higher than the Cayman engine, and had almost double the horsepower.
Right.
Now I'm driving something that feels like a Daytona prototype. You know what I mean? Now you're in a whole other level of
I just don't know what you have at that point.
I apologize for that.
No worries.
My phone is stupidly connected to the computer.
All right, here's someone I forgot his name because I had to copy it. Personal messaged me, but I wanted to ask his question. My 3-year-old and I watch a lot of Jay Leno's Garage. In a recent episode with Jamie Foxx, he highlights an American-built Rezvani tank. Mm-hmm. First, I've heard of the brand and have spent too much time building as Rezvani Alpha X online. Wow, I didn't know you could build your own Rezvani. Can you or Matt speak of the build quality of the products?
Okay. How do I do
look at
this
that. All right.
without being sued? Okay.
Well, your opinion. It's always your opinion. I'm looking at it right now online. The tactical urban vehicle known as the Rezvani. I've never
this
heard
is
of
a
this thing.
Rezvani tank. Is the name of this, and the company was started by a guy whose last name is Rezvani. I think his first name is
I would guess
Faisal or something. Like
he's
that.
not just going to.
I met this dude.
Okay.
This is their second vehicle. I drove their first vehicle. Their first vehicle is called the Beast, and the Beast is based on an aerial atom, and they basically take an aerial atom and put a carbon fiber body onto it. So underneath,
I kind of like the way this thing looks.
It's not ugly. It's not ugly.
Limited to 5 examples, 700 horsepower.
If they sell 5, I'd be shocked. And I drove. It's not good to drive. It's very twitchy. It's not, the one I drove wasn't good to drive.
What does this 700 horsepower car weigh?
Like 1,600 pounds, like nothing. You don't want one. You do not want one.
Wow,
it's not good. So,
and it does it handle?
Yes and no.
The silence speaks.
Yeah, it's just it does, but it doesn't. It wasn't set up by someone who has spent their lifetime building race cars.
Okay,
you know what I mean. They took. Huh?
What about the tank then?
Okay, go back to the tank.
Let's go back.
So
to
the tank,
because I like the way this looks.
The tank is interesting. It's
what
sort
is
of
that
like
based
a post-apoc.
on,
It's based on a Jeep Wrangler.
Jeep. Okay.
Based on a Wrangler, and they put the Hemi engine in it, the big V8 engine in it, the 6.4 Hemi. And they then do this crazy body work. You know, it looks all futury and weird. Mm-hmm. In theory, it has like thermal cameras and it's armored, you know, and it's got all this crazy military.
Let me see the back. Look at that.
Wait, where's the? Oh yeah.
Wow.
If you ask me, it is not.
Click
good
the
looking.
option list there. Let's
Options
just have a
list.
look. I just want to see. Besides bulletproof.
So you can see this interior in this picture. It is a Jeep inside. Off-road package. You get a lift, big tires, Dana Pro Rock axles with lockers, bigger drive shafts. You know, it's got a bunch of off-roady stuff on it.
Ballistic armor.
Yeah.
B4, B6, B7. 50 to 100
50 to 100 Gs
option.
for armoring. Yeah.
Wow.
Convenience package is 6,500. Towing package is 55.
Military run flat tires, ram bumpers, reinforced suspension, radiator protection, fuel tank wrap. Wow.
Right.
First aid kits, hypothermia kit.
That's called
gas
a blanket.
masks. That's the first time I've seen that option on a car. Wait, go back down for 1 second. Magnetic deadbolts, blinding lights. I like some of these options.
Dumb.
Blinding lights in a Prius would be awesome.
The problem with this, it's like this faux military, peacocky. This isn't the battle vehicle. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So.
I kind of like that stuff, though.
My experience with the build quality, of the beast I drove, and there's a video of it on my channel, was not high. It wasn't good.
That was your opinion of it?
That was my opinion of it. Maybe they've figured some other things out. I don't know what Jamie Foxx is doing driving this thing, but
probably having fun.
Probably.
Well, if they want to give it to me, I'm gonna take it for a drive. I'm gonna keep
go
my opinion open about it.
Go ahead.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
This is a good question. I like this question because it's just a common question with any modification you do to a car. But this fella, Browns and Blues. Oh, hold on, getting a call from Tom Sally. Browns and Blues. I'm curious to know how you're doing all of this modification to your Focus, even though it's a lease, unless you're planning on buying it after the lease is up. Please, and thank you, good sir. Also, I think just to add to this, modifying leased cars in general.
Yeah.
How do you get away with that?
You do whatever the hell you want.
Okay. And when you return that car,
you take the things off.
You take the stuff off.
Yeah, then you sell it.
I found with small modifications like wheels that the dealer will say, as long as it has wheels on it.
Yeah.
We don't care if it's the original wheel.
So listen, there is... No, it doesn't matter what your lease agreement says. Your car's in your hands.
Right.
No one's going through it.
Right.
You modify your car unless that modification is the direct cause of a big problem.
Right.
If you put a tune on your car from some janky whatever and you blow the motor, you got a problem. You put an exhaust on your car, there's nothing affected. There's something called the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, and there's this people use this word, this void your warranty. Void your warranty isn't a thing. It's not a thing. You could have a claim rejected if the company or the dealer decides that your modification has caused whatever the problem is that you're trying to warranty. But if you have a coilover suspension and you bring in a car because your air conditioning isn't working, one has nothing to do with the other. If you have, now, granted, look,
but how do you differentiate between these things when you've got your car? When you go, all right, well, what things should I do and what things should I do? Should you call them and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this?
I think it's like, I don't know. For me, it's pretty common sense. Like, for me, like, here's the riskiest thing you can do by far as fucking with warranty is the tune.
Right.
So I would only put a tune on a car from, like, the most reliable sources. We're talking about Cobb, Mountune, big corporate APR, big corporations that put tunes on thousands of cars and tune conservatively.
Right.
I wouldn't have Joe the dyno guy try and do a custom tune. You know what I mean?
You're going to have the most fun with Joe.
Right. No, so
and you can blow the engine on the dyno.
Anything else, really, you put an exhaust or an intake or some suspension, you change your tires, change your brakes. Stuff like that, it would be on them to prove that the modification caused whatever warranty claim you're filing. That's all. And
I like that.
At the
That's
end,
good advice.
You take the parts off your car, you put the stock parts back on, and you turn in your lease.
There you go. Where are we on time right now?
26 minutes in the second half of the show. I think we got 3-4 minutes if you want.
Yeah, we got a couple more questions. Is there a Plan Z for Mission E? Dan wants to know. The Mission E is a new electric Porsche. Damn straight. You'll be happy to know, and I've announced this already, but I'm going to say it again. Erica, my wife, is no longer driving a Prius. She's driving a BMW plug-in 530i, 535. I don't know what it is, but I know it's a German car, and I'm so happy. After that, we're gonna get that Mission E. I don't know if it's Plan Z, or
I'm very excited for Mission E.
I'm excited.
I hope that's
car
not the
too.
name. I don't like the name Mission E,
no.
but
that's like a tortilla brand that you find in a Whole
I noticed
Foods.
you drove up in a Panamera.
Yeah,
is it a hybrid?
Yes.
Is it the
Turbo
S
E hybrid?
Oh my God, how good is it?
It's rad.
It's so rad.
I'm in love.
It's so rad.
Yeah.
And it could only be more rad if it was the wagon, which you can get now.
I know. I love that one, but beggars can't be choosers.
No, of course not. But I would, based on my experience with Tesla, which is some, and based on my experience with Porsche hybrids, I would give Porsche my money for an electric car 7 days out of 7 over Tesla.
No, you would love this because it's a Tesla and a Turbo S all in one.
It's a Tesla that's built by Porsche. That's
Yeah.
the difference is every Tesla I've ever had as a loaner, something has fallen off.
Right.
Every one.
This is fun. We installed a charge point charger at the house. There's a little app that tells you when the car is ready. It charged last time yesterday in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just charged right up. It got 23 miles. I came here on all electric. Yesterday I drove to work all electric. Johnny, my partner, we had a meeting in Hollywood. He gets in his Hellcat. I get in this. I turn it to Sport Plus, and I smoke him in this car. So it does everything.
It's so fast. And actually what is very unique about that car is that unlike all other hybrids that have this sort of engine as a backup generator thing, you can actually be charge positive. So you can drive on the gas engine while actively charging the battery.
I did it.
You can do it. So the strategy is you live in the city and you're driving to another city. You use the electric mode to get out of the city. You get on the highway. You put it in charge. Your gas engine moves you down the highway. It charges your batteries, and they are full by the time you get to the next city.
And it works.
It's badass.
Yeah, I did it. I was so happy.
Dude, I lapped a racetrack and was charge positive. Can you believe that? Because if you go flat, it fully discharges. Like, it gives you all the juice.
Wow.
So you're going flat out of every corner, but it's regenning more than it's outputting every time you stand on those brakes.
Yeah.
So I started a lap. Did 6 laps of a track or something like that. I started with like 11 miles to empty of electric, and I finished my laps with 18 miles to empty after mobbing on a racetrack.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. These guys are, my first drive was, how does Tesla survive with all this stuff rolling out?
Hype, my friend. Lots of hype.
I guess. When am I going to drive your cars? I've already driven your cars. What are Smoking Tire's favorite kind of car events to go to? Any specific ones? We talked about Luft. That's probably it, right?
Ones that are like, if you had a dozen cars lined up in a racetrack, and me and like my 4 best friends and nobody else. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you have a Grail watch?
Do I or you?
You, both of us.
I
tell
do.
me yours.
Yeah, I do. I have 2 Grail watches. One is I want the stainless steel Sea Dweller, which is not Sea Dweller, Sky Dweller. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Blue face stainless steel Sky Dweller,
new one,
which is not necessarily Grail because I technically could afford it. But
it's a Grail to you.
I can't get it, and that's kind of the dopest thing in Rolex world for me right now. And then my other. I want an RGM Corps of Engineers watch. RGM is in Pennsylvania. They make watches from scratch here in Pennsylvania. The movements, everything, they're extraordinary.
Yeah.
And you never find them used. Nobody who buys them ever puts them for sale. They're like, you got to go out there and you meet the dude, and he makes the watch for you. And I'm going out there this coming summer with my friend Chef Carl Ruiz, and I'm going to order a RGM Corps of Engineers watch.
Love that. All right, let's do 2 more quick questions.
Sure.
Quick ones. Kevin Brosnan wants to know, what is going to be the next sports car for the common man that's not German or an American muscle car? The rumored Supra? A new hot hatch?
Yeah.
After Ford's recent announcement, that's all I can think about. And that's a good question because, most people can't afford these cars we talk about sometimes.
Right.
What is that cool car?
Well, on the one hand, the crazy stuff, yeah, okay, most people can't afford them. On the other hand, your money's never gone so far as it goes now.
Right.
I mean, you can get a 2018 Mustang GT for the low
I love
30s.
that car.
You're talking 450 horsepower,
Yeah.
11-second quarter miles.
And looks right.
The Camaro SS is extraordinary. You can get the Camaro 1LE package on the handling package on all the Camaros. But he didn't want to hear about that. He wanted to hear about
The Supra.
The Supra is coming out. That's going to be good. I also am a big fan of the BMW 230i M Sport with the little 4-cylinder. Dynan makes a kit for that.
Yeah, there you
where you
go.
get 400 horsepower out of that 4-cylinder
Wow, that would
with
be nuts.
unbelievable balance of a very light car. Really, really good. So I actually would take a look there.
I like that idea. That's a
where I'm
really
at
good
right now.
idea. And you know what? We've got so many more questions. We'll try to go online and answer the rest of your questions, but we're out of time here, Matt. We're out of time.
Thanks for having me on your show in my studios.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, and obviously you'll be back. You're one of our rotating co-hosts, as well as one of our repeat guest offenders. So there you go. There's Matt Farah, everybody. We'll see you next week with another Spike's Car Radio.
The Smoking Tire on everything.
and that too.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.